Find out what's coming up on African Perspective. I'm joined by Tsepiso Makwetla. Tsepiso, good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. Tell us what's happening.
So everybody's been talking about the ANC's 107th anniversary, pretty much from a national perspective, as you've been doing. But what we're doing is that we're looking at it from an international and regional perspective. As you would know, that the ANC has had camps, has had branches on the African continent, and even very strategic places. If you think of the Morogoro conference in Tanzania, where it's had to do a lot of introspection about itself. Today, it recalls and insists that it's a liberation struggle movement. So we'll be talking about that with the ANC's head of International Relations Committee, Lindiwe Zulu, about what is the character, the nature, the architecture of that liberation struggle movement in modern day politics. Political economist Ms. Lebohang Pheko, who's herself an exile, will talk about what has been the characteristics, especially if you talk about the social contract with the people of South Africa post-democracy. So it's looking at the ANC pre-democracy, how it set out its various branches, the various movements that it's interacted with in order to align itself with the greater ideal of African unity. It was very, very instrumental in the establishment of the Organization of African Unity. In fact, one of the first things that it did on the dawn of democracy in 1993 was become a legitimate member of the OAU. So we'll be looking at all of those things. Its relevance, is it holding true to its mandate, what it says in its foreign policy on what its ideals are? Is it keeping to those promises, knowing that the ANC is also a very strategic regional player? It's led a lot of peacekeeping efforts and has been a mediator in conflicts that we're seeing coming up now. If you look at the Sudan at the moment, there are protests in Sudan against Hassan Omar al-Bashir. We were very instrumental in those mediation efforts. We look at the DRC, where the election results are still in the offing. If you look at Zimbabwe, the ANC as a political party and a governing structure has also been very instrumental. So there's lots to talk about from that perspective.
And let's talk to our viewers about what time that's going to be and how long it is.
So it's an hour's show today from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. today.
Thanks so much for your time. Tsepiso Makwetla talking about African Perspective, which is coming up a little bit later on SABC News tonight. Do tune in for that. Now, Gauteng Education officially opened the newly constructed Menzi Primary School at Tsakane in Ekurhuleni today.